Welcome to another video from ExplainingComputers.com. This time it's another of my twice yearly channel updates. Although, as I made the last of these back at the start of August, it's only 4 months since the last of these updates. But I do like to make an update in the first week of December because it's the anniversary of the channel going weekly, which happened now 6 years ago. I've now done over 300 of these weekly videos. I haven't missed a Sunday since December 2015. I must be mad. And also, as well as wanting to make an update at the start of December, there's quite a few things to let you know about, so it was a good time to make an update. So, what is going on with me and the channel? Well, for starters, you've probably seen there have been a few visual changes, a bit of a visual refresh. You can see we've got a new background behind me here. We've got new intertitles, we've got new title sequence at the start of the video. Not major changes there, but all the changes going on there and here are to address the fact that some of you have been saying in the comments for many years now, Chris, everything's always shot against white. Everything used to look like this, and now it looks like this, which is hopefully a little bit easier on the eyes. And I've had a lot of debates with myself about what to do about this because the channel's been shot against the signature white for a very long time, for about, 14 years, something like that. And so I've been reticent to move, but I've recognised the need to do it. You might remember I stood on a beach or sat on a beach in Wales back in December 2019. And I was talking about visual changes, maybe having a physical set behind me. But in the end, we've ended up with this. I hope you find that an improvement. What else is going on? Well, back a year ago, I transported myself to my garage, to my garage, and I explained amid all the spiders and the rubbish that were there at the time, I was going to convert the place into a filming space. So I wouldn't have to film in my living room and have all the YouTube paraphernalia of cameras and lighting stands and things around me in my home all the time. And back in August, I transported myself back there again, and I showed you how it was coming on. It had been delayed by the pandemic, but it had been plastered, it had got the electrics in, it was coming on quite well. And today, I don't have to transport myself there because I'm there already. All I have to do is this to get rid of the magic of filmmaking. You can see I'm standing in front of my green screen. And if I take this little remote control, which has got a very dodgy battery, we will try and zoom out. It'll probably take a while because it keeps cutting out on the battery, but there we are. Another little go. Maybe if I get closer to you, it'll keep going. And eventually you can see I am in my new filming space, in my garage. It's fantastic. And I particularly like my new green screen, which doesn't now stand on a lighting stand. It's actually mounted on the wall. It goes on these fantastic angled spigots. I had great fun getting those all mounted on the wall, getting the screws in that close to the corner, but it's all done now and it's all working very well. And one of the things about this room I really like is it's given me a chance to have a bigger green screen. It's a wider green screen. It's not that wide, it's just over 6.5 feet, but it's wider than I used before. And this room is longer than the space, the living room I used to film in. And the big benefit of that is I'm able to have more distance between myself and the green screen. I used to be standing about 2 feet in front of a green screen. I'm now standing about 4.5 feet in front of the green screen. And the benefit of that is I can have the green screen lit separately. So I've got my standard movie lights, my good old Arris there and there. You can probably just see them in the corner of this shot, bouncing off the ceiling, all the lovely white in this room lighting me. But I've also got lights, as we can see here, lighting the green screen. If I step back, they would probably come into me as well. And these are fantastic lights because they give you a very diffuse light in a very, very small space. And if I just turn one round, you'll see this has got, oh look, it's very bright there probably. These very, very thin lights, these have LEDs at 90 degrees pointing inwards into a diffuse surface, and then this lights the green screen. I'm going to have to shout at myself now because I've moved that light. It was probably in a very particular place. Do not worry, I've got measurements. I can put it all back where it needs to be. And I've also got in this room some acoustic panels. I wouldn't say I've got the acoustics in this room perfect. I certainly haven't, but they're better than they were. And you might remember if you follow my community tab, I gave you a shot of building these panels. They're basically a piece of hardboard with a frame, and then it's got the actual foam on the front. And they're made in such a way that I can move them around, because on the back of the panel in the frame it's got a piece of aluminium, a bit of aluminum at the top, and that allows me to hang them on the wall but also to move them around. And indeed, if I take a camera down here and I actually show you what I can see, oh look, that's what I can see when I'm filming you. You can see down there I've got some panels on the wall, one behind the camera to capture the first point of reflection. That panel there would normally be over here, or at least sometimes be over here, by that light. Can't be by that light right now because A, I want it behind the camera, and B, it might catch fire. It is fireproof foam, but still you don't really want to be messing around with it getting too warm. So everything in here is nicely set up for filming now. Let's put the camera down there, and I think I'll move on to tell you about something else. Greetings! Here I am back again in the corner where I store all kinds of exciting things, from single board computers to big computers, and well, that's basically what I store here. Oh, and pots of paint, look, I've also got a pot of paint here if you ever want a pot of paint. Anyway, next thing I want to tell you about is I'm not just using this space to shoot new content for Explaining Computers. No, I'm also shooting videos here now, once again, for my Explaining the Future channel, which has recently been re-energized with new content. So here you can see me shooting a new Explaining the Future video, which comes out looking a bit like this. So they've got a different feel, different look to them to the Explaining Computers videos. They've got their own new exciting title sequence, which is just like the Explaining Computers titles, only different. I quite like that. So if you're interested in the future and future technology and that kind of stuff, you might want to check out my Explaining the Future channel, which has now got a new video posting on the first day of every month. The first one of those posted on the 1st of December 2021. It's all about the future of the Metaverse and what Facebook is doing there, that type of stuff. The next one will post on the 1st of January 2022, will be all about artificial intelligence and robots. And the third one will be on the 1st of February, you can spot the pattern now. And it won't be about either of those things. I don't quite know what it'll be about yet, lots of ideas, we will see. Anyway, if you like my videos here and you want more of stuff but slightly different, future focused, check out Explaining the Future. So, that's what's going on Explaining the Future, but what about this channel? Well, the last time I spoke to you like this, I was quite concerned, not about the absolute level of views on this channel, but the fact that the views on Explaining Computers had been going down and down and down for 8 or 9 months. And I knew if they continued to fall at the rate they were falling, this channel wouldn't be viable. It wouldn't be financially possible for me to go on making weekly videos, at least as I do now, without having to do brand deals and put in mid-roll adverts and all of those things I don't like to watch on YouTube and which I try to keep off this channel. And so it's great to report that since August, views have at least stabilised, and in fact they've gone up a little bit in October and into November, so the channel seems to be stable. It's viable going ahead to keep it going in the current format. I'm very pleased about that. Also, since I spoke to you this back in August, I've activated super thanks on the channel, and I'd like to give a massive thanks to everybody who's pressed the super thanks button. I don't expect people to make that kind of donation to watch the content here. All I would like you to do, if you could, is to watch the videos and to like and subscribe. But everybody who has pressed super thanks, thank you for that. It does make a difference. It does help me to keep making videos here on the channel. Talking about making videos, what is coming up in the coming months? In 2022, it'll be another year. Well, I'll grab my tablet with my copious notes on to remind me. And it says down here, first of all, I will continue with my Linux survival guide. That seems to be popular, so I'll continue with that. There will be more single board computer content. There'll be a video on a new single board computer next week, as far as I'm aware. But there probably won't be quite as much single board computer content as there has been in the past. For many years, it was single board computer videos that kept this channel going, that built it up. But it's not the case that single board computer videos get the most views anymore. The market, I think, is saturated. Things move on. That's inevitably part of life. So rather than having a format of basically something about computing, single board computer, something about computing, single board computers roughly every week, every other week, I think going ahead it'll be more like something something Singapore computer, something something Singapore computer. But I'll keep an eye on the numbers. There might be some interesting new RISC-V boards out, for example, in 2022, which will push things up again. We'll see what happens. And I always try to keep thinking of new projects I can do with Singapore computers. I know you like project videos. I do want to do a build in 2022. The state of play with the supply chain in computing has made that difficult in 2021 for all of us here making YouTube videos. But I do like to do a build series where I build a PC from scratch. I did a series in 2021 of upgrading an old PC, which was very popular, continues to be popular, but it'd be good to do a scratch build next year. I will, of course, continue to review Linux distros. I've got a massive list of distros people would like me to look at. I will keep working through that. And I want to make a video on quantum cryptography, looking particularly at what Toshiba's doing in that area. It's getting more and more advanced, being able to use quantum methods to encrypt data. I find that fascinating. I'll get back to retro. It says down here, you must make your QL and Amiga retro videos. I must. And I also want to look again at AI and robotics on this channel. Now, I know I can look at the future, those sort of things on the Explaining the Future channel. That's what it's there for. But artificial intelligence is such an important part of the future of computing. I do want to have another go at making videos here that actually get people watching them about artificial intelligence. It's a tricky subject to cover in a way it doesn't get deeply technical, but actually captures imagination and we can try it out. I really want to try and do that. I might get a 3D printer. Now I've got this new space where I can run a printer and it can have its fumes coming off it and I won't be smelling them all the time. I might well work with a 3D printer. As some of you know, I've done a lot of work looking at 3D printing industrially in other parts of my career for many years now. But it'd be nice to check out some of a cheap 3D printer. What can you do with a low-cost 3D printer in terms of projects and things? That might be a good thing to look at on the channel. Let me know if you're interested in that. And finally here, it says virtual reality. Having just made a video all about Facebook or Meta and the Metaverse, I started to think maybe I should look at building virtual worlds, trying out the Facebook, the Meta Free Horizon tools, maybe experimenting with a virtual reality headset. I might go towards that side of hardware. Anyway, that is pretty much what's coming up. The final thing that's happened since I spoke to you like this is we've passed 800,000 members, subscribers of the Explaining Computers community, which is fantastic. And who knows, fingers crossed, we might get to 900,000 in 2022. But now that's it for another video. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, please press that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I hope to talk to you again very soon.